When the world is literally burning and hope is as present as my hairline, I find solace in the fact that Mario has faced left in every Super Smash Bros. Render.
Yep, somehow I spent 40 hours making a 15-minute video on stuff you never noticed. Welcome to my channel.
Super Smash Bros. Is the first game where I realized these actually mattered. Now, I'm ashamed to admit it, you give me a render, and I can more or less figure out it's from Mario Power Tennis. It all started when I was little, and the only DLC we got with games were these little manuals and Nintendo Power promotional flyers we got in the inside of cases. They'd have this stock art of characters you'd see from games, and I always wondered why Donkey Kong was half the size of Peach. What are they feeding her? What can I say? I always picked up on these completely useless small things. Like the other day, I was like, maybe I'll listen to more than the Persona 5 soundtrack I manually added to my Spotify. And I discover a new artist and song, and I'm like, okay, this is a bop, and then I... Anyways, today we're talking about only Smash renders, yet don't get me started on Mario Tennis. So, renders in Smash are a tale that sort of began in 64. The first two games didn't have any real consistent character branding. 64 had them appear as models on the select screen, and the character select portraits were certainly heads.
But surprisingly, this is the only Smash game where these renders are remade renders from other Nintendo-based games. Except if you count Lemmy Koopa. We never count Lemmy Koopa. Mario's is from 64. Link is from Ocarina of Time. DK's is from Donkey Kong Country. Yoshi Island. Kirby's Adventure. Star Fox is from Star Fox 64. I'm already sweat. Captain Falcon's from F-Zero X. Pikachu's from Pokemon Red and Blue, I think. And Super Metroid, Earthbound, Pokemon Blue, basic stuff. The only problem, as usual, is f***ing Luigi. Where the hell is this from? I'm gonna say Mario Kart 64, because who wants to think of Luigi's this pose at all?
Not to mention their stock icons were confusing. I mean, if this is all I had to work with, I would think Captain Falcon was Blue Lobster. Why does DK look like a blueberry scone?
Alright, Melee's up. Bring it in. Good enough.
The character icon game really changed in Melee. Now characters were designed specifically for Smash Bros. And posed to reflect their personalities and behaviors. I mean, Ganondorf's looking down on you. He's like, you paid 5 cents for a grocery bag? Captain Falcon respectfully is challenging you. Falcon looks like he's talking shit. Dr. Mario is like condescending explaining to you how a stethoscope works. Now get this. You put this on your heart and I can hear it. Oh. Oh, sorry. And the stock icons reflected this. Why'd you do my boy Game & Watch like this?
I've seen the Irishman one time!
But ultimately, these portraits were uniform. It had the same lighting and angling to make it so all these characters from different franchises, whether realistic or cartoony, fit uniformly. And I think that's the real difference. 64 just felt like a hodgepodge of all these characters fighting, but Melee really felt like a crossover of worlds. But Super Smash Bros. Changed as soon as the... Fuck. Hold on. Hey, I'm not embarrassed to admit I was obsessed with this game. Let me set the scene. This trailer soiled pants. Nintendo literally just said, let's make Mario pissed.
Oh wait! I ruined your childhood.
It would be a year that we'd go into complete desperation mode online. In a cosmic sacrifice, a soul for a soul, we gave up the luster of the Shrek franchise and got the Super Smash Bros. Dojo. This website began getting updates by the weekday. And in 2007, I learned 3 things. 1, I would have a celebrity crush on Rihanna forever. 2, apples were not just for eating anymore. 3, video games utilize key art for promotional material like trailers or websites like this. So Melee started with the idea of having a uniform universe of all these characters fit together in the same sort of art. But Brawl was the first game where we really got to see them all trickled out in their new designs. And it was disproportionately one of my favorite parts of any Smash character's reveal. In conclusion, there was a time in my life where I was happy to see Diddy Kong. And here, each character's render sort of was established as what they were all about. And like for some characters like Pit, Lucas, Zero Suit Samus, this would be some of the first high-quality 3D renders they'd have since their debut. And in all the renders going forward, you'll notice how delicately they handle character posing and facial expressions. Smash Bros is all about representation, but I don't think people realize just how much goes into each and every one of these renders. If you can, for each of these, I want you to imagine a few lines dictating how a character stands, bending with their backs, arms, and legs. From an abstract level, you can infer a character's personality just from these stances. Snake, sturdy and dependable. Sheik, flexible, light, but on guard. Wario, awkward, bent, and off balance. Peach, delicate and soft. Also take for a moment the chance to see how groups of characters sort of reflect one another.
Oh, fellas, make room for Jesus. You notice these two always, in every Smash Bros. Render, look like they're supposed to be standing alongside one another, but that is the case for characters that are grouped sort of as partners.
Mario engaging with whatever threat comes at him, and Luigi more hesitantly remembering that his therapist said he should be more confrontational. There are some beautiful renders in Brawl. I look back at them fondly because of how they made me feel back in the day. And then there's Pikachu's. Looks like they snapped the picture before he was ready. And this continues. In the 2010s, they really upped their game with all renders in the next few Smash games. Smash for Wii U's renders define Smash in a style that I think is the best it's ever been. Everyone looks extremely bright and stylized while remaining unique and cohesive all at the same time. For the renders, I think this game does a great job at displaying character personalities through their posing. Much better than Brawl did, at least. Toon Link's Brawl render is outlawed in 130 countries. Now the Wii U's in comparison is... Wind Waker was less realistic, so to contrast that, they have his limbs locked more at 90 degrees. And they have him holding his disproportionately large sword in an awkward position, as well as having him run on an angle. To contrast this with the other Link, his face is not really all that serious, it's sort of just like... I do not know what they put in the Wii U juice, but everyone looks so pissed. Overall, the characters are in poses that show their personality, but also highlight what their playstyle revolves around. What with ZSS's new Aldo purchase?
Was it buy one, get one?
Sheik's slicey hands and her sharp gameplay, and Diddy going 5. That's how many times I'm gonna up air you. And they even experimented with poses for some other characters that were unorthodox in other Smash games, like some of them are flying, some of them are very casually posed, not even look like they're ready to battle, and some are just sitting. I still don't know what Luigi's doing. But all of this, like many parts of the Smash series, was just eclipsed by Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. So Ultimate, to make sense of it, the other Smash renders look like they were posed in a photo shoot very premeditated. But Ultimates, they feel like candids of the characters in action.
Look no further than Mario. What does this tell you? Boom! He was the first Smash Bros. Character in all of the games. Boom! He's doing the most basic of attacks, something that represents Smash. A neutral aerial, an arrow you can do in the air, and boom! He's colloquially known as the Jumpman. So he's doing a jumping based attack. Plus, add on that he's punching and kicking because he's the jack of all trades.
Also, he's red. Luigi's cool to look at in contrast to Mario. He's afraid and attacking unorthodox, resembling how he's a little weirder than Mario in a lot of his game appearances. Dr. Mario looks like he has something to say, but he's gonna talk to nobody that doesn't have 2 acronyms at the end of their name. There are over 70 characters in this game. I don't even think I can name 70 animals. So I'll go through each of the ones I think are the best, and I hate to be that guy, but how many ways can we say one arm is bent forward and the other's punching? Come on. Peach and Daisy provide a nice contrast. Peach is graceful and light. Notice her freely open hand and softly bent arms. Whereas Daisy's flipped and both arms are in fist with sharply bent arms, displaying how she's more aggressive but still regal. Bowser looks like he's in the middle of a flurry of attacks, really providing that more beastly version of Bowser that Smash intends to illustrate. Yeah, these older ones attempted to pose him like a human, but it's like if you gave a pile of dirt googly eyes. The Links are fun to look at too. Link and Young Link both have their sword in the air preparing a strike. Toon Link in contrast is doing a more unrealistic strike, with feet off the ground representing his cartoonish animations. Link looks like he just blocked an opponent's strike with his shield, but poses confidently as if it was just calculated. Young Link similarly looks like he's blocking an attack of his own, but it seems to have blown him back a bit if you look at his legs. And while he looks like he's ready to strike, he looks a little less seasoned than the adult Link. I mean, he only was a soldier 100 years ago. Toon Link once again displays more of his sharp posing, which falls into his sharpened facial expressions, which was a huge part of Wind Waker. I'd have loved it if they gave him a funnier face though. Rosalina is hilarious. While her posing is both commanding to represent her literal god status, she has her hair, hands, and eyes both reflecting a delicate precision. But take out this, change this, and bam! Yoshi, assured, confident, and light on his toes. He's happy to be here. He's all like, 4. I'm gonna up air you 4 times. Sheik and Zelda are an interesting study. Notice how they both have the same foot planted and are leaning in the same direction. Zelda is more planted with her arms in a more reactionary position, and an expression of playfulness. Sheik alternatively seems to have urgency and dodges with speed, with her legs and arm posed more sharply to reflect her more physical acrobatic combat.
Just looking at these renders, it's clear that they were trying to represent Sheik and Zelda as sort of the same character rooted in the same background in history, but varying in differing paths. Sheik is an initiator of combat, very quick, dodge heavy, but always in the front line, whereas Zelda is a projectile user in the back line, more support based, and these renders reflect that. It's a super big symbolic representation of how, while both of these characters fight differently and went in differing paths, they're all rooted by the same foot fetish.
Similarly, Marth is confidently on guard, with Lucina inverted with her hand displaying more of her stoic yet stubborn personality. It contrasts Marth's more traditional and formal demeanor. Marth is open to the camera while she's more closed. Contrasting both of them, Roy really looks like he's going, ah! But his ripped up cape and sword stance makes this unbalanced pose perfect for his unorthodox sword style. Wario is very much aligned with his iconic personality, with the W fingers, mouth ajar, like he's walking into a stadium, basically assuring his own victory. Sonic's bland posing is finally rectified in this new one. Sonic and Brawl, for example, like, okay, neat, but what are you doing? Like, are you pointing at me? You doing a thumbs up? Are you doing that thumb to nose combo they do in the animes? Smash for Wii U, he's running. Wow, who would have thought? But with Smash Ultimate's more dynamic posing, this one is just perfect for Sonic. He's flying in the air with his arms and legs bent like his Sonic Adventure art, while his face is very playful and arms pointing like, hey, I got this. Robin, reading? Reading! Corin looks like he's setting a timer on his Apple Watch to whoop your ass. I love how practiced and formal this pose looks, reflecting his royal nature, his clan's bitter rivalry and no shoes! Ridley's in a pose many of us could only have dreamed of, with all of his windy limbs sharply stretched out and his tongue of nightmares. Ugh. It also communicates he isn't some flailing beast, he actually is way more calculated than many other villains. Carol's asking, which one of yous take a shit?
Disgusting!
Joker, oh my, Joker from Persona 5, guys. Joker from Persona 5, guys.
Have you guys heard about Persona 5? Have you heard about Persona 5?
Jokers and Smash! Jokers and Smash!
Jokers from Persona 5! I'm like a cat. If you don't like it, I'm going to do it more.
Joker's dodging back elegantly, reflecting his Phantom Thief status. It also references this art of him. He also has his dagger, which is his main melee weapon. He's also playfully smiling at you because he's dodging with ease. I swear we've talked about this before. And that's it for the renders that I wanted to talk about. Now, there are other ones that are really good, but I hope through just these ones you can see how much is communicated through so little. Like, you understand what they're going for each time you see these renders, but you don't actually think about all of the thought and effort put into how this represents the character and how it's going to be communicated on the character select screen. Out of all the useless things I've talked about, this has to be one of my favorites. And because I love you guys, let's talk about only the biggest crossover piece of thing ever. Lucas's rope snake is going after Snake Snake. Piranha Plant watering his own Pikmin. Terry, Ness, and Pokemon Trainer, 3 parts of the same evolutionary chain. Wario and Incineroar, both characters with wrestling inspirations, and like Wario being afraid of Incineroar attacking him. Villager going after a Bayonetta butterfly. Fox and Wolf literally about to kill each other. Crom and Robin literally just hanging out. It's cute. It's like they're friends, and they're just like, yo, you wanna go grab a bite to eat? Hold on, let me finish this level of Octopath. Dr. Mario discovering Game & Watch does not have a heart. He has no width in the Z direction. It's putting a stethoscope to a piece of paper.
No heartbeat. Hey!
Yeah, at me next time.
I have a bone to pick with you, mister. What the hell is the meaning of all this? It looks like you just showed up to the photo shoot and you barely were paying attention. Oh look, Diva on set. He can't even look at the camera because he heard there was a snack bar. I mean, what's the meaning of this? It doesn't even look like you want to be here.
I don't want to be here.
Oh. We were always asking, where's Ocarina of Time Ganon, but never, how's Ocarina of Time Ganon?
Yeah, it really makes you think.
So So if you had sharp eyes, you may have noticed these snazzy little pins, and the dabbing Isabel, how could I not? They were actually provided to me by a fan, Sour Lemon Pins, and they have their own Etsy page. They make these pins for Smash Bros. Characters in alternate colors, like this Ridley one. So if you're interested, go check out their page. So check them out and see if there's any characters there you want to have pinned on whatever. I'm sure they're going to add more. And thank you for sending me these pins. I love them.
Thank you everybody for watching this video. I think this year I'm going to start talking on the end cards again, because, you know, why the heck not? I had a lot of fun making this video because I did not think I would have this much to say about renders and all of the 9 yards, but somehow I got this to like 16 minutes, end card not holding, whatever. But thank you guys for watching. Thank you to the patrons for supporting me, and if you want to support me, that is really the best way to do it. Yeah, like, geez. I'm really excited to do a lot of topics this year, and this is kind of just showing you the style and what I want to do this year entirely, not just with Smash renders. So thank you everyone for watching again, and I will see you on the flip side.